Since the Silverado's 2019 redesign, the Trail Boss has been the go-to trim for truck shoppers eager to take the road less traveled. But now Chevy is offering an even more serious off-road option. This is the first ever Silverado ZR2.
COVID-related delays have subsided, and the updated 2022 Silverado is finally here, showcasing a more elaborate cabin with improved technology that this truck has desperately needed. And though the ZR2 benefits from those upgrades, it's focused primarily on exploring new worlds. While the Raptor has been flying high for over a decade now, and the 700 horsepower TRX escalated matters last year, Chevy has been, by and large, sitting on the sidelines, instead choosing the mid-sized Colorado for their off-road dalliances. But no longer. The Silverado has entered the chat with this new ZR2 trim intended to advance the Trail Boss's muscle. First off, the ZR2 comes only in the crew cab short bed configuration with the biggest engine offered in the Silverado, the 420 horsepower 6.2-liter V8. Key upgrades include more ground clearance, driver-selectable front and rear locking differentials, maximum traction, wider sidewall 33-inch tires, and the key component, next-generation Multimatic dampers engineered to eliminate compromises between on-road comfort and extreme off-road performance. Multimatic damping technology is factory-fitted to some of the world's highest-performing vehicles, and General Motors has previously tapped their expertise to tune the suspension of the Camaro ZL1 1LE and Colorado ZR2, in addition to producing the company's Multi-Flex and Multi-Pro tailgates. Along with uniquely tuned springs, these Multimatic dampers, or shock absorbers if you will, increase the ZR2's suspension travel. Built for rock crawling as well as desert running, it's what you don't feel that lends credence to Multimatic's reputation. Whether ripping through a rutted trail or racing up a gravel road, the ZR2 shoots straight ahead, riding on a pillow of fluid dynamics that keep your head from bouncing off the windows. But without the advantage of coil springs in the rear and its somewhat restricted wheel travel, the ZR2's body isn't as isolated from the rough stuff as it could be. At least its 11 plus inches of ground clearance, unique skid plates, specific front bumper, and tucked underneath exhaust pipes provide the freedom to go beyond Trail Boss limits.
These top-shelf dampers allow the ZR2 to not only perform precisely and reliably off-road, but also very comfortably on-road, with a palpable level of sophistication each time the body reacts to wheel movements. But in keeping with the leaf springs, the rear end experiences a higher degree of jounce that feels plebeian when compared to the ZR2's key competitors. Still in all, Chevy has pulled off an amazing feat here by creating a serious off-road truck that can also be this polished doing everyday driving.
Putting the high-performance lifted suspension aside for a moment, the big 6.2 doesn't excite this truck in the way you might imagine. It's not super quick, nor does it make any race truck sounds. 460 pound-feet of torque doesn't feel all that impressive in this league, and despite having cylinder deactivation and a stop-start system, gas mileage is an abysmal 15 mpg on premium gas. Not nearly as bad as a TRX, mind you, but with a smallish 24-gallon tank, the ZR2's 360-mile driving range is at a disadvantage. Its 8,900-pound trailering capacity is also at the bottom of the Silverado's scale, though not by much.
The ZR2 has not felt taxed even once out here on these rocky, muddy trails that are so common to my area, and the electronic tools to tackle them are very straightforward. You've basically got one off-road mode, push-button four-wheel drive, and a pair of lockers for the axles, and that is just about it. It's the added ground clearance, territory tires, and your talents that will do the rest. And this plethora of camera views is also extremely helpful. And other than it being very wide, the ZR2 feels like a stud out here. But without Raptor or TRX level wheel articulation, the ZR2 isn't quite in their league.
In an apples-to-apples comparison, the ZR2 stickers for about $5,000 less than a Ford Raptor and about $20,000 less than a Ram TRX, acknowledging that it isn't as fully fledged. But how many owners are pushing these trucks to their limits anyway? Less than 1%? The ZR2 starts at just over $70,000 and totals $76,150 as tested. That includes the technology package with a rear camera mirror, multicolor head-up display, adaptive cruise control, and a power-adjustable steering column, a sunroof, this lockable hard trifold tonneau cover, rocker protectors, which are not true assist steps, so you need to grab a handle to climb in, and the very clever multi-flex tailgate with numerous positions to help haul stuff or assist getting into the bed. If you watched my new Sierra Denali review, you recognize these spots as the home to kicker speakers, but not on the ZR2. But this truck is almost as loaded as that Ultimate model, minus the fancy leather and wood, massaging seats, and Super Cruise hands-free driving, though that is available for the first time on the High Country trim. There's also no Sport mode on the ZR2. Instead, there's a single off-road setting and a terrain mode, which activates one pedal drive meant for rock crawling. Also, a four-wheel drive auto setting means not having to worry about binding up the drive line when traversing variable road conditions. The cabin is a monumental leap forward in terms of its modern appearance, tech level, and quality. There's a new Google-intensive touchscreen.
Take the temperature to 74 degrees.
All right, changing the temperature to 74 degrees.
The 10-speed shifter now resides on the center console, the configurable instrument cluster includes cool animations, and the sporty yellow stitching provides character. It definitely has that premium truck vibe. Heated and cooled seats, wireless phone projection with charge pad, and a million camera views makes me feel like I'm back in the GMC. And it's a very quiet truck, especially considering the nature of these Goodyear tires. But the seats lack cushioning and feel cheap compared to the rest of the interior. No LED headlamps either. Because its substantial width makes the ZR2 more manageable in areas with wide open spaces, I'd likely opt for something Colorado-sized if an off-road truck was on my shopping list. But the ZR2 is one cool-looking rig capable of accomplishing much and satisfying on multiple levels. For TopSpeed.com, I'm Steve Hannis.